Thank you, Hillary. So you wonder, why in the world are we having this meeting? Well, it kind of is a last minute put together meeting because a few things just recently happened to me where I realized we're having so many new people join our registry and come to PC Project, and they really don't know what we do. A lot of times they just come and get a diagnosis, and then they go away and they're like, I had no idea you did this. And we were actually in London. I see Roger and a few of you others that were with me in London in June. And I gave a little update on PC Project. The very first night we were there for something different, but I gave an update. And one of the patients, he's in his 60s, and he says, wow, I just learned more about PC and PC Project in the last hour than my entire life. And I thought, okay, Janice, you're doing something wrong. We got to communicate a little bit more. So just so you know, I am Janice. I'm the executive director of PC Project, but something else happened that kind of triggered this as well. Kind of a funny line, but a while back, I was contacting a patient in our registry. Her email wasn't working, and so I called her and I asked her if I could get if I could get her updated email so she could stay in touch with me, or stay in touch with PC Project and get the news. And she just asked me, she said, well, is there a cure for PC yet? And I said, no. And she said, not yet, of course. And then she said, well, then I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to know anything about PC or PC Project. And if there's a cure, my doctor's going to tell me about it. And then she hung up on me. And I had told Jack about that. And he actually made it, if you were following our newsletters, he made it as part of our PC Awareness Month last June. And so many of you reached out to me. You were so worried about me and concerned about me. And I just want you to know that I am just fine. But I will tell you what you didn't get in that email or that social media post, that when she did hang up on me, it was really demoralizing at first. I'll be honest, you're going to get the vulnerable Janice on this call today. It was really demoralizing. And my first thought when the call was ended was like, I just wanted to call her back and say, if we're going to get a cure or even any kind of treatment, there's only one organization in the world that's going to make that happen, and that is us. And it's just me, and we need you. We need you to make it happen. But I did, and I chilled out, and Jack made a good campaign out of it. But it really made me think the average person might not know what we're all about. So this whole day is what we're all about. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of background here. Our whole agenda, I guess I should say, is based on our mission. The PC Project is dedicated to finding effective treatments and a cure for PC, a painful, debilitating skin disorder, through 1, helping and connecting patients, 2, empowering research, and 3, partnering with industry, and that's pharmaceutical companies. And for those of you who have been here or gone to every patient support meeting, you'll have seen some of these things before, but this is what we're going to talk about today. I always want to give the history. So, because some of you have asked anyway, yes, I have PC. I am a spontaneous mutation. After many doctor visits, I was eventually diagnosed correctly. But back then, we didn't really know what it was. And it wasn't until we started PC Project that I did get genetic testing and found out I really did have PC. Well, I got married, and with every marriage comes a mother-in-law, and she's very important. This is Mary, who some of you have met. And then Dave and I started our family. We had our first 2 kids had PC, and we have K6A, and we didn't know it then, but we just knew we had bad feet. And we had all the typical signs of PC, the thick nails that get infected, the white tongue, the follicular hyperkeratosis around the waistline, and the friction areas, and the feeding issues, the ear pain that comes with babies, and when the kids first eat, that they eventually seem to grow out of. I know a lot of you have those same symptoms as well, but it wasn't until the boys started becoming weight bearing that these calluses started to grow on their feet. And those calluses all alone were painful. And of course, the more these cute little boys walked and ran, the worse they got. And I just thought, I'm like so many people, including the lady that hung up on me, that just said there's nothing to be done. But fortunately, my mother-in-law said, no, we are not just going to wait for somebody to do something about it. We are going to do something about it. And it was Mary's idea to get things started. And I noticed Nancy Leachman is on the call. I'll talk about her a little bit later, but she was very instrumental in getting us started as well. And I'm just so grateful for somebody that said, let's move, let's do something, don't be complacent, let's don't wait for somebody else to figure it out, because the truth is nobody's going to do it except for us. So PC Project was founded by the love of a grandmother. Today we are still driven and motivated by love. And that's everybody, all of the kids. It's so beyond my kids. And it's all of you. PC people in our community are of all ages, races, genders, and personalities. And we're in over 50 countries now, maybe even 60. But you are all loved. And I hope you guys know that everything we do is because of this. I wanted to just point out that a few years ago, we updated our logo. It was always a heart with a DNA strand. And if we were in live at a patient support meeting, I'd ask you, what does it mean? Well, pretty much, I hope you know from our logo that it's genetic. It affects our DNA. Our feet hurt. We put our feet in the logo now. And the designers said these toes are the people in our community. And that, okay, that's fine. But that's us. So we're full of lots of wonderful people. And of course, we're all about love. But we are also guided by science, and that is the essence of who we are. We are driven by love, and we are guided by science. I wanted to introduce you to our staff. These are the people that get paid at PC Project. We have a very part-time bookkeeper. She's fabulous, Joanne. We have a very part-time social media person who has a regular full-time job, Kara. And then I was drowning in new patients. We are getting so many patients in our registry right now. And if you have been part of the registry since January, you've met Paulina. So Paulina's here. She speaks fluent Spanish. She's been very helpful for us. And of course, Holly, and she is our one full-time person. And so I think sometimes people think, oh, you got this big powerhouse of PC Project. Well, guess what? It's just us. But Holly does the work of about 10 people, and I don't know if her title is right, but she does everything. And to run a nonprofit, it takes a lot of work just to stay compliant as a charity, to stay compliant as a registry, all of the things that go into being a 501c3 charity. Wanted to point out we have a fabulous board. The top line of people, I think a lot of them are on the board. Maybe you can say hi in the chat if you're on the board. We got Jack, Dave, Jim, Aaron, and I'm on it too. And then if you notice, we did a recent call out for people to be on our board, and we've got a whole lineup of new people. Rutu, John Dew, I say he's on the board. He's a doctor. He's a great asset to us, along with Dave Hansen, who's a doctor. Roseanne, many of you know as the PC advocate leader. Nate, who's a treasurer now, and Bob Linfors, our new attorney. So we're happy about that. I also don't know if you guys know, we have a PC Project Europe board. And these guys are great. Phil's here, I know. I'm not looking at the people now, so I don't know who's here. Julie, Tom, Claudia, and of course, I'm the little thing. And the reason we have a PC Project Europe is because there are certain things we can only do by having a charity over there. And so you can donate to PC Project Europe, and especially if you're in the K and you donate to PC Project Europe, you get that gift aid, which is 25% extra. So only if you live in the UK. So that's a nice bonus for us. And it all is part of PC Project. So wanted to just say thank you to some very hard-working people in our board, our two different boards. I also I couldn't say all their names, but if you know who you are, you know who you are. We have advocates across the world, and we need you. And I'm just so grateful for the work that you do to help us out. You see our bare bones staff. And so we are just so grateful for what you guys do to help us move this work along. So now I'm just going to talk for a second about what we do to help and connect patients. I got to show you before I do that. You've seen this on our social media posts recently. We have two major programs for PC Project that everything really goes under these two programs. One is our International PC Consortium. This is made up of researchers, physicians, and industry or pharmaceutical companies. We don't have as many of those as we want, but I'm going to talk about a few that we do. And then, of course, our registry, which so many of you are part of, and that's our patients and our data. And I just wanted to put this out at the beginning because we're going to show how they all interlap and they're all important. So first, why do we have a registry? Well, because PC is rare. The registry is a diagnostic pathway. Hi, Allison. Allison's here. Most patients do not have a diagnosis or a correct diagnosis. They typically find us through a PC Project's registry from an internet search of their symptoms. And I can tell you right now, ChatGPT is really making people find us fast right now. Maybe that's why we're getting so many more patients, and that's great, right? And the registry includes your patient-reported data, photos, and of course, genetic testing for a diagnosis. All your cases are reviewed and verified by our genetics team. And these guys meet monthly and they are fabulous. They are literally some of the world's experts, not just in PC, but in the skin disease space. And I'm so grateful for the time that they give us. Just wanted to put this out there because some people think we're like 23andMe or Ancestry.com. We are not. It costs PC Project approximately $1,000 for a patient to go through the registry process, from joining to receiving the genetic testing result. So I don't tell you that so you go, but just letting you know it's an expense, but it's very important to us. Shrikant, I'm using your picture again. The registry participation is life-changing for our patients who have lived their whole lives with no diagnosis. And Shrikant is one of those. I hope I'm not embarrassing you, Shrikant. So he joined our registry and he's been so involved with us ever since, been a huge help in our website. So grateful for that. I cannot tell you how many patients have been on the phone with me weeping because they finally found someone who gets why they hurt. It is a huge thing for us to give people a correct diagnosis. That's why it's a huge part of our mission. And they get an amazing community with us. This is our patient support meeting in San Diego a few months ago. Love it. Love all these wonderful people. And I see all these kids in here. As we went around the first night, we were passing the microphone and the kids were like, hi, I'm Bobby and I have K6A, and I'm Susie and I have K16. And I was so moved. I thought, we are raising a new generation of people who are not ashamed of a condition that was not their fault. And I was just really, it's just a new world, and so proud of these kids. I wanted to just point out, I got the permission to share this story. I hope it's okay. I'm still sharing it. I asked the mom if I could share her story, her son's story at a research meeting this last May. And this is a little guy that got a genetic diagnosis through somebody else. And guess what? It was wrong. That's why you say, why does it cost? Because we have state-of-the-art genetic testing. He didn't get a correct diagnosis, but his mom and dad didn't give up, and they found us. We saw him, his picture said, join the registry. We gave him his correct diagnosis of PC. Fast forward a year, and the mom calls me, and she or her husband noticed that he was not breathing right. They took him to maybe the Instacare. I can't quite remember. He ended up getting medvac to a bigger hospital. She's calling me on the phone saying, does this have anything to do with PC? I looked up his mutation and I said yes. And I immediately sent all the literature and the paperwork that I could for her to share with the doctors. And, I think they had an amazing team, but basically he had that obstruction that kids get. Sometimes it's very rare, but it does happen in our K6A. This is not him. This is another patient in our registry that gets a buildup and it closes the airway. And then this is what happens afterwards. And this is what happened to him. And I just have to show you this last cute picture of him because his mom shared that with and said he was okay. And so just know he's okay. And like I said, he had a fabulous medical team. And would they have saved his life anyway? I'm sure they would have. But the fact that they knew what he was dealing with because he had a correct diagnosis was so important. And sometimes I think, hey, we don't have a cure yet, but we're definitely helping these patients. So the registry is a source of accurate information about PC, and it has literally transformed what we know about PC. Dave Hansen, who's a doctor on this call, said one of his textbooks not that long ago, just back in the 90s, still was calling it a thick nail disorder. But we know Pachyonychia, even though it means thick nails, it is just so much more. It's really named incorrectly, and we're going to talk about that in a second. There's also other complications and features that happen with PC. You learned about some of them. The neurovascular structures that so many of us get in, our calluses, these painful blood vessels and nerve endings, this transgradient stuff that happens on some of a very specific type of PC mutation, infections, all of these things. The registry has also taught us that we're the same, but we're also different. And I'm going to go fast on this a little bit, but the pain is the most striking feature of PC. It's one thing to say, I have pain. It's another thing when you get a whole registry of patients that say, I have pain. But the most common feature of all is that painful plantar keratoderma. And again, across all 5 types, this is the number one problem we have. I don't know if Erwin's on here because I'm not checking the videos or the people, but I love this picture that I've used over and over again. These are like the filaments around the cells, and they're strong. And this is a regular person. And then here is PC, and these are clumpy, and they're not good. And this is us. That's kind of sad. This is like the Eiffel Tower. This is like a stack of cards. And that kind of is a good for me visual of why we hurt so much. 94% of patients feel some level of pain with every step they take. Each day is planned around our PC feet, what socks, what shoes, how many steps can I take? And you all probably know that sometimes you have a certain amount of steps that you can take. And once those are done, you can't walk anymore. And some of us can't walk very much even in the first place. You know what? It's not moving. I'm going to wait. Hey guys, hang on. Maybe we just have so much bandwidth going on. Can I ask if maybe everybody takes their camera off for just a second, if you can, for a minute? I just wonder if that would help. I don't know if Holly's still on this meeting or not. Oh, it worked. Okay, great. Well, basically, we find ways to avoid the hurt. And I just want to give a shout out to Max. He's our newest advocate. He's right here in the wheelchair. He has just, I hope you see his social media post. He's great, and he is learning. He doesn't have to be ashamed of using this. You know what? Everything is having a hard time moving. Okay, hold on. There we go. Patients spend a lot of time on their knees. And I am just going to keep moving just for the sake of time. But even the pressure of bedding can be too painful on our tender feet. And I just wanted to say, we spend a lot of time talking about the painful calluses. And that's because that's the problem across all 5 types of PC. But I just want our K17 patients especially to know that we see you. We have things going on for cyst, and we'll talk about those in just a minute. But I just want you to know that we know those are hurting and they're terrible. And those are a very important aspect of PC, especially for our K17 patients. And it's very important. We know that PC hurts emotionally. We don't want everybody to be depressed on this call, but depression is the number one social concern. We know we deal with bullying, shame, embarrassment, and an isolation. And I just wanted to say, I know all of these kids, but this is one kid in the middle, and it motivates me every day, actually, because he actually accidentally overdosed on drugs in an attempt to escape the pain that he was experiencing, having been bullied and having this severe PC pain. I know where every one of these other people are today, and they're all doing great, but we lost one, and I don't want to lose anybody else. So you guys all know, if you're on this call, you get it. There's a burden of rare. It's painful. No one understands. It's isolating. It's embarrassing, shame, bully, depression, desire to be normal. These are not normal calluses. But again, I don't want you to be all depressed on this. Just wanted to say we get it. And we know all this actually because of the registry. Now, I wanted to just share some new stuff for us. Some of you have seen this before, but we're having kind of an interesting experience with our registry right now. We are getting more and more patients in our registry that don't have PC. So if you're looking at this slide, there is not one single one of these patients that have PC. You notice that? Not one of those is a PC mutation. These are all genes, and they don't have that have a mutation in them that cause these bad feet, but they don't have PC. Well, we're getting more and more of them. And you know what? We care for them all. And I just want to show you a couple. So these are TRP3. And notice I'm not calling them by their names like Pachyonychia. I'm calling them by their gene mutation, or the gene where their mutation is. And these guys have a lot of pain. They have similar pathways to PC, and that's very important. We have these GJB6s, K9s. They might not hurt as much, but they have a lot of care. DSPs, see, it doesn't mean anything to you guys, but just letting you see why genetic testing is so important. AGABs, desmoglians, the RHBDF2, that's the gene. You can tell they look a lot like PC. A lot of PC, and we're getting them in our registry, and they're growing because, as you can tell, you just cannot tell sometimes. They have thick nails too. I only did the feet for the most part, but they have other signs that are like PC. So just a little education here. Skin diseases like PC are sometimes referred to as palms, or plantar foot keratodermas. And we know there are now over 50 genetic conditions with palmar plantar keratoderma, or we call it PPK for short. But this is new. All these palmar plantar keratodermas have just been reclassified by their gene name. And I have been with this group. These are, again, the world's experts, and we were really privileged to be invited to join this group because of our registry, because of what we do, this reclassification group. But I want to tell you this, one of the reasons why I think, are so respected is because PC was already reclassified based on the gene names affected in 2011. And we are ahead of our time. In fact, when we went and we had this big meeting in Paris that I was invited to, but we had many Zoom calls, monthly meetings, they kept using PC Project as the standard, that we called ourselves, and I say Erwin, Dave, Mark Eliason, who works with Sansi, Francis, you see the names on this publication, by our gene name. So these are the 5 types of PC, because it just makes so much more sense for us to go by our gene name and not by some weird name of somebody that just identified us many years ago. So with that, it's a big deal. Everybody was reclassified. So guys, guess what? You're the first to know. We have a new name, and it's not a big shock for any of us because we kept our names. Basically, we're keratin 6A, and this is what we all got grouped into as palmar plantar epidermal differentiation disorders. So that's our PEDS. And we're actually going to be part of a bigger group called epidermal differentiation disorders. Now, you notice it says -PC, and this is my contribution. Well, I'd like to think I had lots of good contributions, but I said we have been trying for 20 years to put PC on the map, Pachyonychia Congenita. And even though it's a terrible name to describe what we have, we are kind of there. And so even though we're reclassifying, they said, okay, we'll put a -PC. So that's our new name. So don't worry, not a big change for us. But at the same time, we still have all these other conditions that literally we cannot tell the difference without genetic testing. And so you notice, if you pay attention to our website, we're starting to get more and more of these PPKs in our thing. So we just got to kind of figure out what to do about that. So just keep in mind, stay tuned and see what we do. One thing I think we'll know a little bit is I got invited to this symposium. It's basically a working meeting called Epidermal Differentiation Disorder Symposium. And I am going to be representing the PEDS, the PC people, and the other people on our registry at this meeting. So stay tuned. But all of this is happening because of our registry that helps us connect and help patients. It's our most valuable asset because it's teaching us so much, but it's also helping so many patients in so many ways. So if you have not joined the registry, or if you have patients in your life who have not joined the registry, please find us on our website. And even if you don't know if you have PC or not, it's okay. just join it and we can help you get a diagnosis. But it also connects you to our community. Some of the things is once you do have a community and and we do know your diagnosis, we can give ongoing support. We do that for doctors who are helping patients all the time. We help the patients and their caregivers. I cannot tell you how many letters of support I write for accommodations, for handicap placards, blue badges, all kinds of accommodations. So we're here to help. Just wanted to point out that our website is a huge resource. We have this epic place called Tips and Tools on the website. Check it out. Lots of the stuff on there has come from from not just our registry, but from you guys. And then you get tips for going back to school. Just all these things that keep us keep us connected as a group. We have big and little patient support meetings in person. And anytime we can get together to talk and be together, we will. And I just have to point this out. We had a pediatric meeting in Arizona last fall, and we just had Nikaiba, Bob, and his wife, and we just had a lunch together, and it was so great. And Bob was just hugged Nikaiba, and Esther and Bob gave her so much advice, and it just really was meaningful for her. And so this is what we do. We gather as patients. And just so you know, the next small patient gathering will be just super small. It will be a dinner in Belgium on September 10th, just because we're going to be there. And everybody always asks, the next official patient support meeting, we're going to go back to Europe in 2026. Location to be determined. We're looking, of course, we always align ourselves with the bigger conferences just because it saves money, especially for our researchers and our physicians who come. So stay tuned. No big announcement here. The other thing we do is we try to have virtual meetings, and maybe you guys can even say in the chat if you want more. It's been 1.5 years, and I apologize, since our last virtual meeting. So if you want more, let us know. We're on social media. We try to tell you everything we can in newsletters and emails. We also have Awareness Month, and the reason why this is so important is we talked about in the past about so much of the shame and embarrassment. We do it to raise awareness for others, but at the same time, we do it to hopefully help you guys feel a little more proud and not embarrassed of what you're dealing with. And that's literally what started with that whole "she hung up on me" call there. And I just want to do a shout out. We said this, get ready. We're doing for the first time ever a peer-to-peer fundraiser, and we're doing it in September. So I don't know, Roseanne, Jack, we're going to blame it on Jack and Roseanne. They got us started. Basically what it is, we have never done this before. Basically, we're going to have a platform. And yes, I know Allison's in here 3 times, so we're kind of working on the graphic, but it was late last night. And so we're going to do this where everybody gets to create their very own fundraiser with their story. And if you want to participate, we would love that. And I'm just going to be totally honest. We ask the same people over and over again to donate, and that's you guys. And it's kind of awkward and we hate it. But the truth is, we are so rare, not enough people know about us. And so we would like to invite you to invite people in your network and your loved ones to know about us, more people to know about PC, to not be ashamed. When we send you the information out, I want you to read Jack's story. I learned stuff from Jack's story that he's got in here. He made his own story and that he's going to share with his people. And it moved me. I also wanted to beat people up after reading his story, but it was really moving. And I'm proud of you, Jack. I'm proud of you for doing this, and Roseanne too. And we hope that we'll have a whole bunch of people that will make their own and share. Just so you know, there's going to be a kickoff meeting this Thursday. It's actually for our advocates and our board members. We're going to teach them, hopefully get them set up. It's only going to be like 30 minutes. And actually, Roseanne or Jack, can you put the link in the chat? It is not an exclusive meeting. It's just going to be, if you're interested in coming, we'll give you a link in the chat, and you can just register and come, and we can send out an email too. But we would love you to join us, and then later on you'll get more information about it. But again, it's my shameless plug to do this. Last thing, helping and connecting patients. We have a private Facebook group, and I know my kids say that it's only it's only middle-aged women that are in Facebook, but this is a great place in here that we really get to chatting, and you can find us. You have to be let in. You have to be part of our team to be part of this, because we don't want people giving crazy advice. We want people to give advice based on who they are, but you're more than welcome to be part of that. It's a happening group. So that was it. Boy, that took half our time. The part you want to know about the most, we're coming up next, research. But I hope you're already seeing a little bit how important our research registry is for the researchers. And so with that, why did we have a consortium? Why did we make a consortium? And again, it's because PC is rare. Because when we started this, nothing was being done in our disease space. So we needed brilliant scientists. You notice there's Sancy there, Erwin's there, Roger, Francis. We need a collaboration, not competition. We are too rare to be competing. We want people to share and collaborate. And that's what our team does. And we need a big heart. And we've got big, big hearts. And for the past 20 years, they have given us their love and their expertise. And we have these meetings. Just so you know, I am been happily by choice a stay-at-home mom for the last 20 years before I got in this role. I am not a scientist. I am not a doctor, but we have a committee, a steering committee of this IPCC, this International PC Consortium. And they get on a call with me once a month and they lead me and guide me. And I love them. And I'm so grateful for them for doing that. So the first thing in empowering research, we've got a research agenda. That was a big labor of love to bring all the top people in to say what needs to happen in our disease space. So we have this, and you notice we have numerous articles. If you saw our last newsletter just last month, a few weeks ago alone, all of the publications that are coming out of our registry because of that. And they're not saying your name, it's just de-identified data that we gather it together, and it just is really getting us on the map. We host an annual International PC Consortium Research Symposium. This is really a powerful thing where we get together, everybody doing anything in PC research presents, they talk, they collaborate. This is the one we had last month, 2 months ago. And this is the deal, because we are so small, we win their hearts. And you know what? They keep coming back. And we've got in here pharma people that show up, and we love them to come. We have our researchers, we have doctors, and so much collaboration happens there. So back to our new name. This coming year, that meeting was supposed to be set in Chicago before the Society for Investigative Dermatology, because that's when we always have it. We are going to combine with all the epidermal differentiation disorders and have one big meeting. We've never done it before. If we don't like it, we won't do it again. But what we're hoping is that we bring even more scientists that are doing things kind of in our disease space and to bringing them over to us. So it's a strategic plan, and we're quite excited about it. We hope it works. We think it's going to work. So that's what we're going to do next year in Chicago. You probably notice we do a lot of networking at dermatology research meetings. And it's not just fun. They are intense meetings. We get the word out about PC, but the networking that goes on is tremendous. I could just tell you story after story about people that have joined and given us ideas and collaborated with us because of that. So we even go to the meetings. We like to go and listen, and then we go find the people that spoke and talk to them. I wanted to tell you this is something very exciting for us. There's this big meeting for researchers in Europe this coming year, and PC Project for the first time ever has a session in the main meeting. And so we're going to talk about all the cutting edge research that's happening for PC, and actually some of these palmar plantar keratodermas as well, but mostly us, and showing how it's a model. What we're doing is literally a model for all the rare skin diseases in our community. Just wanted to let you know that research is facilitated and collaboration happens all year. It is just going on all the time. And And in any given day, I'm either on a call or I'm sending an email, sharing an email with somebody throughout the world who's doing something in our research space. And it's very exciting. And I just have to say, I don't know how to put all this stuff in a newsletter or in an email or a social media post. I just hope you trust me that it's happening all the time. And it's really exciting and it's really great. I wanted to tell you that money drives research. And so, just so you know, what are we doing? We have always funded grants, but for the past 2 years, we have done so in a dedicated grant cycle. And we're doing this in hopes of attracting researcher interest. The grant cycle for 2025 is open now. And guess what? We will award as much as we can raise the money for. That's what's going to happen. I got to give a shout out to Adele because I stole a bunch of her slides for this next part. I deleted a million that talked about the clinical advances because of the power of the registry. I just hope you trust. You read our newsletters, you know that lots of things are happening because of the registry. Then I'm going to just talk a little bit about some of the basic and translational science that's going on here, some of the treatment ideas and the treatment ideas in progress. So we've got some people that are doing work on, again, Palmer plantar biology. So you know what? I'm going to skip, just know what's happening. I wanted to tell you that we gave a grant to Diana because she was doing such good work here. We gave her a 2-year grant and that's done. But based on what they did, now they are getting grants, more grants from other sources, not PC Project. And you can see there's some big money that they're getting. And actually, I just recently wrote a letter of support for them for a big grant. And this is ideally what we'd love to have happen is we give grant money and get people excited about PC, and then they go on to get bigger money from bigger people. People who have more money than PC Project. I wanted for all of you guys to know what's happening with CIS. Again, I'm not a doctor. I did this last minute. Adele's finally on vacation, letting her be, but this is Marianne DeBrito. She's out of Adele's lab. We actually have on our website a research update from her. She's doing some pretty cool stuff with cyst in the lab, and they're from K17 patients. So well done. So just know you are not forgotten. Pierre, I don't know. Pierre, are you on this call? Did you make it to this call?
Yes, I am on the call.
He's probably like, Janice won't breathe and give me a word in edgewise. So Adele put this slide together, but Pierre, this is how cool our community is. Pierre is supposed to be on vacation too. And he literally texted me right before the meeting. He has no idea what's happening in this meeting. And he says, do you need me to hop on for any reason? And I'm like, well, we got a slide for you. And I hope we didn't do it wrong. So Pierre, can I just give a little minute to you? This is one of the best researchers in the whole world in our disease space who's doing targeted PC research. So go, Pierre.
Well, now that I'm fully embarrassed, it's always a pleasure for me to be in a forum like this one. I mean, PC Project is an incredible place and group to be part of. Several of the names that Janice has been mentioning in terms of PC, people who are involved in PC, like Sansi and Robin and David Hansen and Erwin McLean are actually on the call. So I'm not the only one who showed up at the last minute. I want to say that PC Project is a model organization. Many of us are working on many rare diseases that are related. And the PC Project really stands out in terms of what it accomplishes on behalf of the patients, but also as a place where a community of physicians and researchers can depend on to find information that is very useful and, in fact, vital to the pursuit of research. And for a person like me, I'm a PhD scientist. I've been working my whole life on skin diseases. I've been working on the PC genes for my entire career. Having access to colleagues, to physicians, and most importantly, to the patients through the PC Project is incredibly important. And I feel very privileged to be part of the group. The research on PC is going quite well. I mean, in terms of a cure, we know what needs to be done, but there are major technological hurdles that stand in the way of being able to do it, which is to correct the defects that are in the K6 or the K16 or the K17 genes. But alongside of that, understanding the disease for what it is, whether it's the palmoplantar keratoderma, whether it's the cyst, understanding them at a basic biological level and interfacing with folks who are working on related diseases like the other PPKs, as Janice was mentioning, is very, very empowering. And we may get to effective treatment. In fact, there's promises in the area of treatments that are symptom-based rather than a cure. As we progress, try to progress always towards a cure, we are making progress on treatments that are making the everyday life potentially more bearable for this community. So anyway, it's a pleasure to be here. I always enjoy hearing about PC from Janice. In particular, she's the patient in chief, if you will, of the PC project. And so, and it's a pleasure to be associated with this community. So Janice, is that helpful?
That's beautiful. Thank you. It is, and I just so you guys know, I think because of the bandwidth, I can't see anybody on this call. So I don't know who's here. So thanks for letting me know that we've got some awesome people. I'm glad to know Erwin's here. He said he would be here, and I'm gonna put him on the spot in just a minute. And I added this because even though Adele did this slide about keratin 17 biology, I know because I heard his talk, and you can listen to Pierre's talk on our, if you go to our last symposium, the whole thing was live streamed and it's recorded so you can hear it. But I know he was talking about other PC mute types as well. So, and I just got to show this. I love this picture because this is Amanda, and she works in Pierre's lab. She's a very brilliant scientist. And she met Jim. I don't know if Jim's on the call because, like I said, I can't see anybody. She met Jim for the first time, and Jim is always like, "I'll show you my feet." And we hadn't even had dinner the first night, and she was looking at his feet, and I have other pictures of her, and she's like, "Oh, this is so cool." And she was just so excited. I've never seen a scientist so excited to see a PC foot. So guys, if you ever feel like, you're not popular because you have PC, just go find Pierre's lab and, actually any lab on this call, which is kind of cool. And I had to add this because you notice on her slide that she gave a presentation told all about her K16 research, that she can't do it. They can't do it without us. So we really do work together. Patients and researchers need each other. So that's cool. So anyway, I've got something. She was interviewed recently by Pedra, and I haven't shared it yet because, we just have so many things to share, but it's going to be in our next newsletter, and you can listen to Amanda talk all about her research for PC. It's really exciting. So tune in, it's coming. Also, just some other things that have happened. Pierre talks about basic scientists. I'm not a scientist. I'm just going to say there's some work that's been going on about cells, mitochondria. I'm not even going to deal with it because this is not the time or the place. But Sonia's not in this lab anymore. She gave the talk, but she is in the lab with Nicole. And I just wanted to let you know, this is all stuff you can see on our website. We gave Nicole Schwartz, a basic scientist. I had a whole slide on what these were and what she's doing. And I decided you guys don't really care. Just trust me. It's good stuff. And then we've got Benjamin Names. We gave him he's a basic scientist too. He actually just sent me a research report. They tell us what they're doing, and we try to share those with you if we can put it into layman's language. But stuff is going on. We've got to know the basics about what's happening. There's some other work that's been done about reversing skin fragility in EBS, and those are keratins 5 and 14. I'm not going to go into this much, but I'm going to tell you about something that's happening with them. We are very much alerted to what's happening with this particular subset of another rare disease. So just keep that in mind. Some other things that are in the works right now, these are people that are doing work right now. So, for example, if we give someone an award in 2024, usually they get the money in 2025 and they start working on it. So, we've got Michael Caterina. He is an amazing person. Pierre, can you tell me? Is he a neuroscientist?
Yeah, Mike is a physician scientist who does not see patient actually, but he has had a long-standing program working on the pain and pain pathways. And so yeah, he is a neurobiologist.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Um, Happy to be supporting Mike, who's been associated with PC Project for many years now. Fabulous. Ellie, you probably know Ellie, one of the top in the world. He's right up there with Pierre, and he's doing work for us. Druggable associated targets. We like those words. So, some things we've been looking at, we've been talking about it for a little bit, is repurposing. And we've got a drug that we're looking at in particular, or a type of drug that inhibits the EGFR pathway. Just a little bit of background: Alon Hovnanian, who's part of our team, he did some work on TRP3. Notice I don't even call it Olmsted, I just call it TRP3. They have these painful calluses on their feet. We have a patient in our registry who said, what about PC? Well, is EGFR pathways part of PC too? I said, I don't know. So I had a call with Alon and I said, what do you think? And because of our registry, and because he was able to get biopsies from patients, he did work on PC and found out the EGFR pathway and the TRP3 pathway, they're overexpressed in PC. So this is important because there is a drug out there. Well, there's a lot of drugs. They're called EGFR inhibitors. We're looking at one in particular called Alatinib. It's got side effects. It's originally for cancer, and it's got some funky things going on. But there are some case studies that are reported to date that are looking kind of compelling, like really compelling. Side effects notwithstanding. But we also have some case studies of patients that haven't responded so well. And so, what we need to do, instead of just saying, hey, everybody get on an EGFR inhibitor like erlotinib, we've got clinical trials that are being planned in 3 different areas around the world, including here in the United States, Europe, 2 in Europe. And so just hold on. I'm like, I just want to tell everybody, but we kind of have to do things in a systematic way. So that's what we're doing. But it's not a secret. It's out there. It's out there in the literature. So we're really looking at that. This is a Dell slide about gene editing. And Erwin, if you're on, I'd love to put you on the spot here. It's the Holy Grail. Everybody asked me about gene editing. And just so you know, I'm just going to tell you real quick, we've got a 2-year research grant for gene editing. And so she's been working on it. So she started on 24, 25. So she's working on it right now. This Marta presented at our last meeting. But we have a big problem, and it's called delivery. So we do have 2 grants out for people that are trying to deliver. It's one thing to get a cure in the lab. It's kind of like Pierre said. It's another thing to get it in a human being. And I think we've hit the news a lot with delivery and gene editing. So Erwin, are you there? Can I put you on the spot and have you talk about gene editing at all? Oh, I don't know if he's there. Maybe not.
I can say a few words,
Okay.
Janice. So this is a very complicated slide, but because of what's called the CRISPR technology, if you look at the labeling top left, CRISPR-Cas9, that's a new technology that's coming from the world of bacteria. That is very powerful to be able to go in a genome as complex as the human genome and be extremely specific, at least in theory, in terms of enacting a change, a desirable change. Like for PC, that would be to revert the mutant form of the particular amino acid, the particular nucleotide in the gene to what they should be, what they are in the general population. So it's a very powerful approach. It works. But we have to be mindful of uh, two risks. One risk is that the specificity has to be absolute because you do not want to introduce other changes in the genome of the patient being treated with that technology because there could be consequences associated with these other changes. The second thing is we need to be able to get to the cells that do matter in terms of enacting that change. It's called the stem cells, the cells that are driving the ability of skin to renew itself. And because, for instance, palmoplantar epidermis is so thick, it's much more difficult to get to the cells at the base of the tissue that need the genome needs to be changed. So the technology is there. We know what needs to be done. We just need to learn how to do it with safety and high efficiency. And I'll stop there.
No, I was just saying it's all of this delivery stuff. And we don't want to die, right? I mean, we don't want to die from the cure. And I mean, when the news came out, I had a lot of people say, hey, have you seen this? That because there was a young baby that got his life saved through gene therapy. But I don't know if you noticed, just a few weeks later, there were some Duchenne patients that died from gene therapy. I don't know if it's from, but they had the treatment and they died. So we just have to be so careful. Thank you, Pierre. But we're on it. We're trying. But I think we have some other things. Just for sake of time, just wanted to let you know that we've got Alon Havnanian who is doing something with proteomics. We gave him a grant a couple years ago. He had the work that he had done, or actually I should say the people in his lab got presented at one of probably the biggest proteomics conference in the world just last June. The exciting insights that they found. I just wanted to say that a lot of the reasons they can do this is they have skin from 10 PC patients. So if you're on this call and you ever gave a biopsy for PC research, thank you. We need you. And we know that's precious material and it's not easy and it's not fun. But just wanted to let you guys know we have given one grant already out this year. Based on what they did, they've reached a certain amount of information, and now it's just opened a whole new world. And there's a 4-lab collaboration to make it even better. I don't know, Pierre, do I want to put you on the spot one more time for this? You're
Yes.
sorry, you're gonna be sorry you texted me right before this
No,
call.
no, 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 that's fine. I mean, this is I'm one of the collaborators of this project, but it is driven by Alain and Sarah Sekachi, who was the woman featured on the previous slide. It's a very powerful approach because now we're looking at what's in the lesion at the protein level. What is it that accounts for the fact that from a biological ecosystem perspective, why is it that the PPK lesions are so spectacular and so painful? So that approach, I think, is a very powerful approach. And we're just about to submit a study that reports on the first pass analysis with a very sophisticated approach to proteomic analysis of biopsy material, like Janice was saying, based on 10 patients. And what's really interesting is that this study validates a lot of stuff that has taken place in previous years using animal models, cell models, as well as the EGF receptor overactivation a component that Janice was talking about that led to begin to use erlotinib as a EGF receptor pathway inhibitor towards PC. So I think that combined with the work on the genome side, this protein-focused approach is going to be very, very powerful and will inspire new types of therapies that can be tried out. But just one thing that I want to say about biopsy material, um, the researchers and the physicians know how painful the condition is and how precious it is to be able to secure biopsy material from people who come to the PC project. And I can tell you that from my perspective, along with the other leaders in the PC project, when we see biopsy material, we track them. And then we make sure that everybody who has a good reason to be taking advantage of these these biopsy material, they have a shot at it. And so that we try to maximize the potential and the use of every single biopsy to benefit as much as possible the research. So that's another benefit of the PC project.
Thank you, Pierre. So just in conclusion there, in 2023, we funded nearly 400,000 in research grants. 2024, a little bit more. And so far we've done this one. Just wanted to point out that none of these costs include the PC registry. And we don't just give out money for fun. All the grant applications are individually reviewed and scored very rigorously by the IPCC research committee members. I'm not a scientist. Everything looks good to me. And so they tell me no on some, and that's okay. So just know that that is where your money goes. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that donates $10 even, because believe it or not, it adds up really, really fast and it's powerful. So thank you so much. Grant applications are open to right now. And one last thing, I know a lot of you have been worried, especially in the United States, with the state of the country and will that affect PC research? Well, the truth is, we don't get a lot of PC funding from the NIH overall. Pierre does, but he's like one of the few, and very, very few, and it's harder to get. And so what we did is Pierre actually got on with me and 14, this was impressive, 14 people who make decisions. And basically all we want to do, they're not going to give us necessarily money, but we want to get PC and the PPKs and PC project and the epidermal differentiation disorders on the radar. And so that when people do come to get grants, they have good scientific ideas that they'll know, hey, we've got patients and they need a treatment. And they were really impressed with us. They were, and when I say us, I mean you, because we told your stories and it was a great meeting. So we're trying our part to do everything. So I just wanted to say in summary, the registry gives huge amounts of valuable information. Please join the registry if you haven't. There's targeted researchers going on, better treatments are coming. And I'm just going to say it, PC Project is funding and facilitating a lot of it. So last thing, partnering with industry. I'm just going to skip because, wow, our time has gone fast. We work with pharma companies that are wanting to do something. I want to do a shout out because I see some of you on the call here today. At least you were at the beginning. I can't see anybody now, who get together and do focus groups to help pharma companies. You answer surveys. When we send things out to the group, you guys are so helpful. I wanted to tell you guys that even though the Palvella trial failed because of the registry, we fully enrolled that phase 2 and phase 3 trial with genetically tested patients in 8 months and 10 months, respectively. That is like amazing in the rare disease world. It is huge. Without patients in trials, we cannot get patients approved. We cannot get treatments approved. And so our registry is so powerful, and that's you guys that did this. I will tell you, even when we were working on the Palvella trial, their investors called me and they wanted to know about our registry. And it grows, it continues to grow. And so I talk about the high cost of the registry. It's so important for everybody to get a diagnosis because we care about you. We know how meaningful that is for you, but it's also powerful if we're ever going to get a treatment to have those numbers grow. So I wanted to tell you about one company here. This is kind of a cool story. So Robin Hickerson, who is part of our team, she's a scientist. She was at a conference and she met this group called Biomedics. And she's like, do you know about PC and PC Project? And they didn't. And it was because of our consortium member, Robin, who found out about them. And guess what? They've been coming to our patient support meetings and our research symposiums for the last 2-3 years now. And Pierre talked about the PC cell lines. Well, guess what? We were able to arrange so that they got PC cell lines that were provided because of our registry and the biopsies. We had a biopsy party a long time ago, and they got these PC cell lines that they were able to test. So we talk about, again, this is back to Adele's slide again. The Palvella trial dealt with the mTOR pathway, but these guys are attacking it in a different way. Basically, they're using the mTOR inhibitors to clean up the cells with the mutant keratins. And those are and we all know it's those mutant keratins that cause our problems. Right now, there's a clinical trial happening for it's a topical in EB simplex. And we talked about this skin fragility, this K5s and K14s. We've actually got a few in our registry. And actually, some of you were misdiagnosed with EBS until you got tested by us and then you had PC. But we're on our radar. They, like I said, they're all over it. They're very well aware of us. And thanks to Robin Hickerson, they know about us now. That's the way our group works. So we're watching them closely. You also probably know we're partnering with Kamari Pharma. The latest thing we did, we gathered with our patients in the UK, TRP3 and PC patients. See, we have TRP3 patients in our registry, and we gathered to help them decide, to help create endpoints. And I just wanted to show this and do a shout out to patients that show up. We did a call out. They showed up. They worked hard, but we also had a wonderful time together too. So thank you to them. So just Kamari sent me this slide. I wasn't completely last minute, but almost last minute. And this is kind of an update of what's happening to them, because if we go into a clinical trial, this is probably going to be the one that we go in first. So we talk about Alon Hovnanian's work about the TRP3 area. Well, this is a TRP3 inhibitor, and so they have an oral and topical novel TRP3 inhibitors. They're in development. So, well, yeah, they're in development right now. There's the animal studies so far they have shown, I shouldn't make up words, I'll just read the slide, show good safety and efficacy. Right now, there is a healthy volunteer study. Yes, they have healthy volunteers that take the drug to make sure it's safe. And it's been going on for a while now, and so far so good. So that's exciting news that the drug so far seems safe. They're going to start the clinical trial with the TRP3 patients the start of 2026, and then PC patients will start mid 2026. So that's kind of the plan for Kamari. So we'll see. And we always have to say, we know because of a failed trial, we know trials can fail, but this is the route. Clinical trials are the route to get a drug passed. So we have to be in this pathway. So that's what's happening here. Again, I keep showing this slide because I just want you to know these are the two programs. When you donate to PC Project, these are the two programs you fund, and this is the way it works. I just want to say PC Project is dedicated to finding treatments and a cure for PC. And I think probably we're going to be adding soon and other rare, painful, debilitating skin disorders, because we just can't help it. They keep coming. And I don't know if you're on this call. Like I said, I can't see who's on this call. If you don't have PC, but you're part of our community, I hope you know from the things we've talked about that we care about you. We share, in some cases, similar pathways. We hope that if something works for one, it will open the doors for a whole lot more. We are at the top of the hour, which is great. I just want to go back to the original story. She hung up on me. This nice lady never got to find out about all the stuff that you guys just found out about today. And I know there's a lot of new ones today, but I hope, just giving you the full background of PC Project, that it's okay she hung up on me, but I just want to say thanks for not hanging up on me. I got to tell you, when the first PC Science meeting was held in 2004, that was the brainchild of Santi Leishman. Erwin McLean shared a picture of a mountain. He took this picture and I'm just going to talk, I promise, for just 3 more minutes. Took this picture up there. They were all up in Park City, Utah, and we gathered them to ski, but they were really all about the science. And that's when our consortium was created back then. And I remember Erwin showed a picture of a mountain. And if I had not been working on this at 2 a.m. last night, I would have asked him for the picture. But he basically showed a picture of pathways up this mountain. I'm sure it was in Scotland. And I never forgot, after all these years, he said there's a lot of pathways to the top. And I hope you can see by all the research we're funding and exploring and chasing, we don't know which one is going to be best. And we don't know if one thing will work for one patient and another one will work better for another one. But this is the view outside of my house. I'm in Utah, so got all the mountains. I see this view every day. And I think almost every day of Erwin and what he said to us. And I never forget that we've got a mountain to climb, but how are we going to do it? We go through all of these seasons in our lives with PC Project. We've been going for 20 years and there's been a lot of seasons. But I want to tell you, this is my thought. This is my brother. His name's Tom, and he does not have PC, but he's a trail runner. He just ran up to a top of a mountain for 29 miles yesterday. He likes to do this. He did something that's called the Wasatch 100, and it's a 100-mile trail run that's very, very difficult. And you think, how in the world could he do such a crazy thing? He has done it. And the reason why is because he has this thing called pacers. And what happens is he runs a part of the trail and he has a guy that will come and run. Maybe we'll mute. And he'll have somebody that will come and pace him for a little bit. And then he comes and he'll maybe run 20 more miles, and another pacer will come and run 20 more miles with him. This is him the first time he ever did it. And he crossed the finish line with his little kids that were his pacers at the end. And I've thought so much about that. Is we are trying to climb this mountain, and this is my view again that I see and I think about every day. It's pacers that are our keys to a successful finish for a cure for PC. We have 20 years of PC Project pacers. Sandy Leachman took a chance on us and got us started with Mary. Those were the pacers that got us started in these really pivotal 10, 15 years. We've had these scientists who are pacers that come in and out. Some of them have retired, but new ones come in. They pace us and they do what they need for such a time as this. We have pacers that help us with the grunt work. There's Robin right there. We have pacers that volunteer, they donate, they fundraise, they even put us in their will. We've had pacers that pay a pacer, he put us in our will, and we have an investment account now that makes money for us because of that. It's huge. It's huge when we have such a small donor base. We have pacers who participate in awareness campaigns. You guys show up. This is Amit. I don't know if he's on the call. He's Rutu's husband. He did an Instagram live. You know how scary that is for someone with PC? And he did it. He got on social media and talked about and answered questions to the world. It was great. Some of you, many of you have given us pictures. You know how powerful that is for me to show pictures of people in wheelchairs and trimming and crawling. Thank you for sharing your story. It is powerful when I can share your pictures with people all around the world who are doing work and need to understand that PC and the other painful PPKs are hard. They're difficult. So they're pacers. I got to put in one more final plug. We'd love you to be a pacer. Come to the meeting if you can. It's in the chat. Come and do the kickoff. And if you can't come on Thursday, and you don't have to, it's like I said, it's for the advocates and the board members, but come and join us. But when it's announced, I invite you to come and be part of it. Pace us for this time. We have got to increase our donor base. It's just getting really critical for us to do that. So last thing of all, it says, then she hung up on me. But I got to tell you, just yesterday, I got a text message from somebody that said this: thank you for giving us hope. You're literally all we have. And I thought, man, I want that lady who hung up on me to have this person say, this is it. But the truth is, this is not true, to tell you the truth. And if you're on this call, I know you were earlier when I could actually see people. Thank you for saying that. You made my day for saying that. But the truth is, I'm going to say to all of you who are on this call, thank you for giving us hope, because we are the pacers and we are literally all we have. We're it, guys. We're around the world and you do it. We are going to make it to the top of this mountain. We already are. We've come so far and we're going to do it because we're driven by love and we're guided by science. Thank you so much. And with that, Pierre's giving me the thumbs up. I'm going to stop sharing and see if I can see people. And that is our theme.